Alright, guys. It's day 18, and I want to start by talking about what I read last night. So, we're officially done with the book of Genesis. So, chapter 50 starts off with Jacob's funeral, Israel's funeral, Joseph's father. So, basically, it just starts with, Joseph embracing his father before he dies. And then Joseph orders the doctors in Egypt, the physicians, it says, to embalm his father. I'm not sure what that means. If I'm not mistaken, it's like to preserve his body essentially. And they spent 40 days doing that. That's the full period of embalming, it says. And the Egyptians mourned him for 7 days. And so then Joseph goes to the Pharaoh, and he's like, I promised my father that I would take my father and bury him back where, Abraham and Isaac were buried. And, the Pharaoh's like, well, since you promised, you go and do that. So him and all the Pharaoh's officials and, all the senior members of his household, so like all the grown-ups, went with him to go bury him they went to go bury him, and only like the children and like the flocks and the herds remained in Goshen, which is like in Egypt. And the Pharaoh sent like chariots and horsemen, and they arrived at like, I think, a land, it says, beyond the Jordan, named Goren Ha-Atad. And there they had like a memorial service for him where they mourned him for 7 days. It says Joseph observed 7 days of mourning for his father. And so after that they carried him to the land of Canaan, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, where his descendants had been buried. And so after this, basically Joseph's brothers become like fearful, and they think like, suppose Joseph has been holding a grudge this entire time, like against us, and he's about to like make us, he's about to pay us back in full for like all the evil we did against him. And so they went to Joseph and they said, before your father died, he gave us these instructions. Thus you shall say to Joseph, please forgive the criminal wrongdoing of your brothers who treated you harmfully. So now please forgive the crime that we, the servants of God of your the God of your father, committed. And when they said this to Joseph, he basically just breaks into tears. And, he tells them, he's like, don't be afraid. Like, who am I to take the place of God? Like, am I God? Like, am I the one to judge? And so, he says, even though you meant harm to me, God meant that harm to be done, for good, like for this all to turn out the way it did, for all of y'all to be saved, and for like, our descendants to multiply the way that they did, even through like the 7 years of famine. So he reassured them, and Joseph remained in Egypt with his father's household for 110 years, it says. And he saw his children's children go to like the third generation. And then it ends with basically the death of Joseph. And Joseph says to his brothers, I'm about to die. God will surely take care of you and lead you up from this land to the land that he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then putting the sons of Israel under oath, he continued, when God thus takes care of you, you must bring my bones up from this place. And Joseph died at the age of 110, and he was embalmed and laid to rest in a coffin in Egypt. So I assume that means they're just going to like move his body maybe, in the future, but that is the end of Genesis. So yeah, very, very good book in my opinion. So now today it's going to be like a double reading. So I'm going to start Exodus today. But here's the macros for my first meal. And let me show y'all. Here's my 4 eggs, 84 grams of egg whites, turkey bacon. Oh, hold on. Here's my yogurt bowl. Sheesh. But guys, turkey bacon. Turkey bacon mogs the center cut bacon that I had been using, because I like the macros look the same on the back, but the serving size is 1 turkey bacon slice is like the equivalent of 2 of the other bacon slices, and these slices are way bigger. So yeah, basically I've been foolish to not invest in turkey bacon. But yeah, I was 149 pounds this morning. Kind of wanted to be above the 150s. But I hope by the end of this week, I'll be like safely above. And I probably will after Sunday. But yeah, I did some homework before I came to eat, and oh yeah, there's cheese in my bread, of course. So yeah, after this I'm gonna do more homework and then hopefully finish my accounting homework 1, cause yeah. But I'll see how that goes. My professor like uploaded a video of her doing the problem, so hopefully that helps. But yeah, just for today is just edit video, read, hit the gym and macros, do homework, and honestly probably do cardio for the last one. I kind of want to improve my cardiovascular health because I heard it's good for recovery, like your body's ability to pump blood through your body, all that jazz. I think I'll just like put like a link to the video that I watched. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm about to dominate this meal and then go work on some more homework. So I'll see y'all when I'm either eating my second meal or eating my oatmeal and talking about what I read. Alright guys, it's time. Oh fuck, I forgot a fork this time. It's time for meal number 2. I'm honestly in a good mood because I was able to finish my accounting homework and I got 100 on it. So that's pretty insane. That's like the comeback of the century. But yeah, my next homework assignment I think is just like the same stuff, which is good news. So hopefully by the end of today I can get like 4 of those questions done. And then that would be like 8 for tomorrow, or I don't know, however many I'll get done. But yeah, other than that, like the rest of my other classes have like pretty easy work. So, but yeah, here's the macros for the second meal, which is none other than the chicken and rice that I always have. But once I'm done with this sauce, which I'm almost done with, I bought like a barbecue sauce which has like 0 fat, which is what I'll be using from now on. So yeah, I'll see how that tastes whenever I get to it. But after this, because I have no bananas right now, and I think I'm gonna replace the bananas with strawberries in my oatmeal bowl, just because the bananas are like really calorie dense, I feel like. And like my oatmeal bowl is also pretty calorie dense. I don't know if I should lessen, like instead of doing 1 cup, do 2/3 of a cup. I think I might do that, but I don't know. Like I feel like I always like have so many carbs left at the end of the day. But yeah, no matter what, I'm gonna be eating my ground beef and sweet potatoes tonight. Like even if it goes over my calories, because I don't know if I should be raising my calories or not. Like say I started at 140 and I had like 2,900 calories every day, and now I'm at 150. So then like I should raise my calories because I'm heavier, but who knows? I'll probably just look into it later. But yeah, after this, I'll probably read and then make my oatmeal. My oatmeal might just have no fruit today, or like blueberries or raspberries, I don't know. But yeah. So I'll read and then I'll make my oatmeal and then we'll talk about what I read. So I will see y'all when I'm eating my oatmeal. Goodbye. Alright guys, it's time for oatmeal talk time. And so we're about to start one of the most peak parts of the Bible. I think probably one of the most well-known, famous ones. And that is essentially the freeing of the Israelites. So even I, someone who, this is like kind of my first run of the Bible, knows about this story. But so the book of Exodus starts with basically telling us about Jacob's descendants in Egypt and how they fare after Jacob's gone. And basically it talks about Joseph and all his generation, like they're all dead now. Like Joseph and his brothers are dead. Jacob and all of his descendants were 70 that arrived in Egypt. And basically after they're gone, they're known as the Israelites, right? And these guys were like fruitful and prolific, it says. So they multiplied and they became numerous, and like the whole land was filled with them now. And so this new king who knew nothing of Joseph rose to power in Egypt, and he said basically to his people, like, these Israelites, like, there's too many of them, right? Let's deal with them, because if they become too strong in times of war, they can turn against us and overtake us, essentially. So what he does is that he puts supervisors over the Israelites, and he essentially just enslaves them and forces them into like the most like cruel slavery, like super hard labor. So it says that he makes their life bitter with hard labor at mortar and brick and all kinds of field work. So they're basically slaves now, the Israelites. And then he goes a step further, this new king of Egypt, and he tells the midwives, which I guess are like the ladies who kind of care for like the children of the ladies who give birth. And he tells them, if it's a boy, like if these Hebrew women, the Israelite women, if they give birth to a boy, kill him. But if it's a girl, she can live. And basically, the midwives, since they fear God, they don't listen to the king of Egypt, and they let the boys live. And the king asks him, he's like, why do you do this? Like, why are you going against what I'm saying? And the midwives respond to the Pharaoh, and they say the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. They're robust, and they give birth before the midwife arrives. So I don't really know what that means, but it says here that therefore God dealt with the midwives, and the people multiplied and grew very numerous. So, and because the midwives feared God, God built up families for them. So essentially, they got payment for going with God's will instead of the Pharaoh's will. But, then the Pharaoh commanded to all of his people, throw into the Nile every boy that is born, but you may let all the girls live. So the Pharaoh just wants to get rid of all the Israelites, essentially. And now comes the birth and adoption of Moses. So, essentially, a man of the house of Levi married a Levite woman, and they conceived a child. And it says, seeing that he was a fine child, she hid him away for 3 months, because obviously she doesn't want her child to die. So, this is Noah. And when she could no longer hide him, she puts him in a papyrus basket, and, she puts the child in it, and she puts him in the reeds on the bank of the Nile. And the sister stationed herself at a distance to see what would happen to him. And basically, the Pharaoh's daughter, right, the guy who's in charge, comes down, and she sees this basket, and she's moved with pity. And she said it's one of the Hebrews' children. And then the Pharaoh's sister asked the Pharaoh's daughter, should I go summon a Hebrew woman to nurse your child for you, right? Like this new child that she wants to adopt. And the Pharaoh's daughter tells her, go and find like this child's mother. So I'm pretty sure it's the woman who gave birth. Like she essentially gets her child back, and like she nurses him up for the Pharaoh's daughter. And then the Pharaoh takes him and names him Moses, because she, quote, drew him out of the water. So then Moses kind of grows up, and he goes out on one occasion, and he's witnessing the forced labor that his people are being subject to. And he sees an Egyptian striking a Hebrew, an Israelite, one of his own kind. And he sees this, and when no one's looking, he kills the Egyptian and buries him in the sand. And the next day, 2 Hebrews are fighting, and he sees them, and he asks, the attacker, he's like, why are you striking your own kind, your companion? And the guy replies, and he said, who has appointed you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian? And so then Moses is like, oh no, like, people know what I did. Like, this affair is known about now. So when the Pharaoh hears about, what Moses did, he wants to kill him. But Moses flees from the Pharaoh and goes to the land of Midian. And there he sits down by a well, and the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's flock. But shepherds came down and drove the daughters away. So Moses, rises up in their defense, waters their flock for him. And when the daughters go back, they tell their father, or the father asks, and he's like, why is it that y'all have come back so soon today? And they're like, an Egyptian, he's not really an Egyptian, but they say an Egyptian delivered us from the shepherds, and he even drew water for us and watered the flock, right? So they're like, Moses basically came and, to our defense and did that for us. And he's like, well, where is he? Bring him here so he can eat with us. And so Moses agrees to stay with them. The man gives Moses one of his daughters, Zipporah, in marriage, and they have a child who they name Gershom, Gershom, and he said he names him because he said, I am a stranger residing in a foreign land. And so now the way this chapter ends is kind of ominous, right? So it says, a long time passed during which the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned and cried out. And from their bondage, their cry for help went up to God. God heard their moaning, and God was mindful of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God saw the Israelites, and God knew, ... So now, that basically confirms God's about to, intervene with the oppression of his people. So yeah, this book is going to be cinema. In total, it's 40 chapters, so the last one was 50, so this one will be a little bit shorter. But yeah, anyways, let me show y'all my oatmeal. Ooh, guys, I decided to not do a cup anymore because I don't want to be a gluttonous fatty. So I'm doing 2/3 cup, 1 banana. I also said I was going to stop doing bananas, but my mom brought bananas and strawberries, so you already know I'm going to eat everything up. But I kind of have to hurry up because I have to go drop my mom off at my aunt's so that I think they're going to watch like a game or something. But then I'm going to go to the gym after that. And yeah, so I'm just carbing up, if you know what I mean. And guys, Thicc002's is out. Thicc002's is official. Like, I can buy it right now. But I kind of want to wait because I've made like some purchases, so I want to see what that does to my bank account. It's only $20. Can you believe that? First of all, I'm calling it right now. What's today? Today's Thursday, September 4th, 2025. I'm calling it right now. Thicc002's is gonna win Game of the Year. But anyways, $20 for Game of the Year, guys. Like, can we just give a round of applause to Team Cherry for blessing us with Hollow Knight and then giving us Thicc002? Gosh. Anyways, enough Thicc002 glaze. I will see y'all when I'm eating my last meal. So, goodbye. Oh! Not goodbye. Here's the macros for the oatmeal bowl. Now, goodbye. Alright, guys. It's time for the last meal. And we're back. We're back to the ground beef and sweet potatoes. Sheesh. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm gonna eat this and I'm still gonna be hungry after. So I don't know. Maybe I'll eat more, maybe I won't. My mom made brownies and they're talking to me. And they're saying, eat me, eat me. But anyways, here's the macros for this last meal. And if I do eat anything after this, I'll include it in today's total macros, which are right here. And I think so I was able to get, most of my things done. So hit gym and macros. I'm gonna edit my video after this. I did my cardio. I almost didn't, but I did it for the full 30. Like, I almost did only 25, but I did for the full 30 because I didn't go for a walk today. I read, and what's the last one? Oh yeah, and I did my homework. So I think I'll do more homework tonight. But I'm also really tempted to buy Thicc002's and stream that. But man, I'm like disappointed in myself for not getting the platinum before it came out. But I mean, I'll get to it one day, eventually, I hope. But yeah, I might do that. I might not, because tomorrow's Friday, so I don't have school. I don't have to be up at a certain time, but I do have to, finish my homework by Saturday. But as long as I get that second homework assignment done, and then my quiz, the quizzes are usually like easier than the homework assignments, honestly. But yeah, as long as I get those two done before Saturday, or like on Saturday, then I'll be fine, because Sunday is kind of like a busy day. I won't really have time. Oh, I think I work tomorrow. I'm a liar. Okay, never mind. So I actually have to go shower, edit my video, go to sleep, and go to work tomorrow. Well, oh well. Yeah, I don't know. I'll stream Hollow Knight Thicc002's another day. But yeah, I think that's it for the day. So if you're watching this, thank you. And yeah, like if you want, comment if you want, subscribe if you want. And I will see y'all for day 19 tomorrow. Goodbye.